I have actually made like 4,000 cold calls in like 1 month, and it's actually not that difficult. It's just like working 20 days a month and then like doing like 200 cold calls every day. And if you're wondering how I did this, well, for me, it's like exposure. Like I already kind of learned how to do that because I did like a lot of like cold approach before. So it's going out to places like this and then saying hello to people. That's and girls, and like that's how I got started in communication, I guess. And then you know, the more you do that, obviously, the more that becomes like easier. So for me, that took like 8 years or like more to really get to the point where I'm at. But I don't think like it has to be that difficult. For me, it was difficult because I was very like introverted and shy. But I do think cold calls are like a little bit easier than like cold approaches. So I do think even if you're like very shy and introverted, you can probably get there in like 6 months, 1 year, 2 years at most, I would say. It's really not that difficult to be good at cold calls, but it does take some like effort. So if you're watching this and you're thinking like, well, right now I can't even like motivate myself to pick up the phone at all, or maybe you've done like 5 cold calls, but you find it like too intense. So look, it's just exposure, and I think it all depends on like where you were at and then aligning with yourself, right? So if you're struggling to do any cold calls at all, just do the first one. Just set a day aside, set a moment aside, set maybe a couple of hours aside if you really need that, and then do that. Just try to nudge yourself in that direction, and maybe like push yourself a little bit to do that. And then you should be able to make your first cold call, right? For most of you, it won't be a problem. For most of you, you can probably start just doing like 5 cold calls, and then like depending on how you feel, you can do more. So like if you do the first 5 cold calls, then maybe the next day it's going to be important that you do that again, right? That you build some consistency for yourself, and just do like 5 cold calls every day for a while. And maybe like the first week, at the end of the week, then judge where you're at. If you're like, well, this is feeling like easy, then you can do more. But don't do too much, because then you might unbalance yourself, and you want to make sure that you're able to be consistent. So if you are able to do like 5 cold calls like for 3-4 days in a row, then like maybe you can do like 10 cold calls the next day, right? Or maybe even 20 if it really feels like easy. If you feel like this is already like a challenge for you, then just keep doing 5 cold calls until it starts feeling easier, right? The most important thing is that you remain consistent and that you keep doing it every day, or in like at least in like a routine, because you're going to learn more from consistency than you're going to learn from doing it in like one shot and like, oh look, I did like 20 or 30 cold calls today, right? You don't want to do that, because then that might like cost you a lot of energy, and then you might not have the energy or the motivation to do that again the next day. So you always want to be consistent. That's the way you can ensure that you grow over time, right? Because that's the important part. It's growing over time. That's where you're going to see the best returns and the best improvement. So, yeah. Now, I think really what is important is that you remain consistent in a way that you can keep doing them every day, that you don't burn out, but also that you find like a way to do it, that you can keep pushing yourself and keep finding like it's something that you like want to do. That's important. So I think what's going to help you to do that is really being clear on your goals. Like, what do you really want? Because if you have big goals and you're really motivated to get them, then you're not going to burn out as quickly. You might still have like your physical limitations will still be the same, but you will have more mental capacity to get after that. And not just that you'll have more capacity, but you'll also have more motivation to go after that. So it won't bore you and you'll be more consistent. So I really think that's important, especially if you are someone who wants to aim high and you are like ambitious. Like, know your why, know why you're doing it, and be aligned on your goals, right? Don't set small goals. You can set achievable goals if you want, but like be ambitious, and like don't, if you find like a way that you can go there, you know, you want to have like good goals, you know, that is the way you can do that. Because yeah, if you're not ambitious, then you won't get very far. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be, but it does help. But I guess it depends on the person, right? So most important thing is to be consistent. Start with 5 cold calls, then do like, you can do more as like time goes. But yeah, just do it. Push yourself to do it, and if it doesn't work right away, you know, don't frustrate yourself. Just be calm. If you want to feel like a little bit annoyed that you can't do it, like that's okay. But like, don't frustrate yourself to the point where you quit. Just remain calm and just keep trying, and eventually you'll be able to do your first cold call. You'll be able to do your first 5. After a while, you'll be able to do like 20. Then you can grow from there. You can go 50 every day. You can go 100 every day. And then if you go to the UK or the US, you'll be able to do 200 a day or more, because the pickup rate is like lower there and people respond faster. So you can, if you're calling UK or US, you can easily do 200 cold calls a day in a good shape and form. So yeah, that was the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.